guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a chatty one. So if you're expecting me to get to the point, do not expect that. Maybe go watch something else, because I'm basically just going to be talking about whatever I feel like talking about. Let me start with my complaints. Okay, let me start with my rants. I have had a cold. Like, I don't know if it's only been a week or if it's been longer than that, but it feels like it's been 15 millennium since this cold started, and it is destroying my life. I have had enough. I don't have energy in high supply, so when I get a virus on top of it, it's very irritating to me. I want to show you guys my earrings. So these are Betsy Johnson. I don't know if you can see. So there's a mermaid on this side, and there is some a clam with a pearl in it on this side, okay? I like that. I like these. What have I been doing to be inspired recently? Lately, I am feeling so inspired because I am making it happen. So how am I doing this? Well, I am consuming a lot of inspiring media, and I am going outside and just looking around. That's my secret, guys. If you want fodder for your creative projects, my secret is go outside and consume media. That's it. Those are the only two things you need to do. It's actually way more simple than it seems. I have my iPad over here, and it's casting an ominous glow onto me. Okay, so the first piece of media I want to talk about is The Neon Demon that came out in 2016, directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. It's really interesting to have your middle name be Winding, but okay. Teen girl Jessie moves from a small town to California to become a model, and she quickly encounters the dark side of the industry. But it's not what you would expect, necessarily. It's a very dreamlike and witchy film. And one of the things that I do have to say about it that I didn't like, because for some reason, even though I like this movie, I feel the need to emphasize what I didn't like. One thing that I didn't like is I wish that there had been a little bit more development in Jessie's character from the beginning to the end. It just seems like it happens too quickly, but I'm being super vague because I don't want to spoil what happens, because I feel like you're not expecting it when the movie starts, and I don't want people to start expecting it. I don't want you to go into it expecting it because of what I said. The women in this industry, in this world that Jessie is entering, metaphorically cannibalize each other. They are all in pursuit of the same validation, and they're all seeking what is essentially the same position. And it seems that only one person can occupy that position. Only one girl can be the it girl. Only one girl can be the new girl, the one that's getting picked for all the jobs, the next big thing. They're all competing with each other to become the next big thing, but what does being the next big thing actually get you? And is it actually something that is going to turn out to be what Jessie really wanted for herself? I don't know. You're going to have to watch and find out. I don't know. It's not. It's not what she thought it was going to be. That's the first spoiler. So, I mean, if you have any sensitivity, this is a horror movie. If you have any sensitivities, look up trigger warnings for this movie before you watch it. Because towards the end, there is blood. That's what I'm gonna say. My favorite scene in this movie is the casting call scene where Jessie and all the other models are sort of, I don't have to explain what a casting call is. But what I like about this scene is just that it's so silent. It's so silent, and it gives you a chance to feel the tension in the air, and you can hear the click clack of their shoes as they're doing their walk, and it just really adds a lot of tension to the film, and I feel like the cinematography is what makes it good. Next movie, Buffalo 66. I'm obsessed with this movie. I love this movie. The acting, delicious. I eat it up. It's everything that I want it to be, and it is so comedic. It's not a comedy, but it's so comedic. The way that certain scenes are so beyond preposterous. And I'm not implying that those scenes aren't supposed to be funny, because they are intended to be funny, but at the same time, it's the entire movie in and of itself isn't really a joke. I guess it's like black comedy, but I just think that there's something very real about the relationship between Layla and Billy. And it's interesting because at first, you don't really feel connected to Billy's character. All we do is we see him kidnap Layla from her dance class. And that sounds pretty whack. But the movie does something. The movie does something that makes you feel bad for him. And then you want him to have happiness. And I feel like the audience gets put in the position of Layla a little bit, like, as we start to feel more sympathetic towards him, she's becoming more sympathetic towards him, and she doesn't want him to continue to make bad choices in life, and she doesn't want him to continue to push people away. And so you're kind of left rooting for a dynamic that you would never seek to encourage. You'd never be like, oh yes, that woman should be with that man who kidnapped her. I also feel like a lot of women can relate to not necessarily the exact situation of like being kidnapped by a man and like feeling bad for him. No, not that. I mean like a relationship with somebody who is emotionally unavailable and who takes that out on you. I feel like that's something that a lot of women have experienced, and just being able to view that from an outside perspective was kind of healing for me, because I don't know, it was just very resonant. I also think that there are a lot of great shots in this movie, a lot of unique camera work, like when Billy and Layla are in the photo booth and they're spanning time. We're a couple in love and we're spanning time.
Listen to me, sit down. We're taking pictures from my parents. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. We're taking pictures like we're a couple, like we like each other, like we're husband and wife, and we span time together. We span time together as a couple, because we're a loving couple, spanning time. These photos are us in love.
Next movie, maxxxine, maxxxine, that just came out. Here's my thing about this movie. I really liked it. And I think that people are being a little bit unfair towards it. Do I feel that it's the weakest out of the three movies? The X, Pearl, and maxxxine. Is maxxxine the weakest? Yes. But I feel like Mia Goth delivered on what everybody liked about her character from the first movie.
Star! The whole world is gonna know my name! Say it, look now. I will not accept a life I do not deserve.
So there's nothing wrong with the way that she portrayed her character. There's nothing more that she could have done to create a satisfying arc for maxxxine, and I think that ultimately she did deliver that. And without spoiling too much, I just feel that we needed a better setup for the ending. That's the only thing that I wish that we would have got, because the whole time we're trying to figure out, okay, well, who's this killer and what does he have to do with maxxxine? It just didn't feel like, when we found out who it was, it didn't feel super rewarding. Like they spent too much time in the middle worrying about that like private investigator guy. But I think it did really good with translating what they did with the first movie, with the 70s and the anxieties of that time period, kind of integrating it with horror. And how now with maxxxine, now that we're set in the 80s, the whole rock and roll satanic panic situation is going on, and the televangelist. Just like X, it feels like a commentary on the time that it's reflecting. And I think the movie was also meant to parody an 80s slasher, and I think that there were certain moments where it was really clear that it was doing that. But then there were other moments that just, I don't know, I feel that we wasted too much time on the private investigator guy. I mean, respectfully, who cares about him? Like, I wish that maxxxine had decided to kind of try to confront the killer or find out who it is earlier on in the movie, so that maybe instead of so much of that, her back and forth with the investigator, we were able to see her investigating and trying to find out who this, you know, like that would have been more interesting. I feel like I needed to see her be trying to solve and piece together who this is that's after her. But either way, I still love the X, Pearl, maxxxine trilogy. It's just maxxxine has got to be like my least favorite out of the three. So writing, let's talk about writing now. I've been thinking a lot recently about the Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. I read this book in high school, but if you haven't read it before, a summary of what happens in the book is a man wakes up as a giant insect, and then all the people around him are like, oh my god, ridiculous. How could you do such a thing? How could you be a giant insect? Like, this is preposterous. Obviously, he didn't choose to become an insect, but everyone's mad at him for it. And nobody seems to give a shit that he's an insect. Like, nobody cares at all. So Gregor, the main character who is now an insect, is like, well, this sucks. I can't work. I can't leave the house because I'm a bug. And then on top of it, my ungrateful family, who only wants me for my money, doesn't even care that I have tiny little legs and an armored hard back. I'm going to read you a quote. As Gregor Samsa awoke one morning from uneasy dreams, he found himself transformed in his bed into a giant insect. He was laying on his hard, as it were, armor-plated back, and when he lifted his head a little, he could see his dome-like brown belly divided into stiff, arched segments, on top of which the bed quilt could hardly keep in position and was about to slide off completely. His numerous legs, which were pitifully thin compared... I don't know why I'm laughing. His numerous legs, which were pitifully thin compared to the rest of his bulk, waved helplessly before his eyes. Incredibly sad. Incredibly sad. But I like this book because I feel that it serves as a perfect allegory for chronic illness, at least for me. Because sometimes when you have a chronic illness, life feels like waking up as a bug and having no one believe you. Or having nobody give a shit, or having people not understand why you can't just get up and go to work. Like, I'm a bug. Another quote is, I cannot make you understand. I cannot make anyone understand what is happening inside me. I cannot even explain it to myself. That's so sad and so real. Thank you, Franz. Thank you, Franz Kafka, for your book about a bug. It really resonates with women all over the world. Now, poems. So first I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to kind of explain why I like this poem. This is Rain in Summer by Wadsworth Longfellow. How beautiful is the rain after the dust and heat, in the broad and fiery street, in the narrow lane. How beautiful is the rain. How it clatters along the roofs like the tramp of hoofs. How it gushes and struggles out from the throat of the overflowing spout. Across the window pane it pours, and swift and wide with a muddy tide. Like a river down the gutter roars, like rain, the welcome rain. The sick man from his chamber looks at the twisted brooks. He can feel the cool breath of each little pool. His fevered brain grows calm again, and he breathes a blessing on the rain. From the neighboring school come the boys with more than their wonted noise and commotion, and down the wet streets sail their mimic fleets till the treacherous pool engulfs them in its whirling and turbulent ocean. In the country on every side, where far and wide, like a leopard's tawny and spotted hide, stretches the plain to the dry grass and the drier grain, how welcome is the rain! In the furrowed land, the toilsome and patient oxen stand, lifting the yoke-encumbered head. With their dilated nostrils spread, they silently inhale the clover-scented gale and the vapors that arise from the well-watered and smoking soil. For this rest in the furrow after toil, their large and lustrous eyes seem to thank the Lord more than man's spoken word. Near at hand, from under the sheltering trees, the farmer sees his pastures and his fields of grain as they bend their tops to the numberless beating drops of the incessant rain. He counts it as no sin that he sees therein only his own thrift and gain. These and far more than these the poet sees. He can behold Aquarius old walking the fenceless fields of air, and from each ample fold of the clouds about him rolled, scattering everywhere the showery rain as the farmer scatters his grain. He can behold things manifold that have not yet been wholly told, have not been wholly sung or said, for his thought that never stops follows the water drops down to the graves of the dead, down through chasms and gulfs profound to the dreary fountainhead of lakes and rivers underground, and sees them when the rain is done on the bridge of colors 7, climbing up once more to heaven opposite the setting sun. Thus the seer with vision clear sees forms appear and disappear. This is my favorite part of the poem. I'm eating this up right now. Thus the seer... Okay. So good, guys. So good. Let me finish. Thus the seer... I can't even... Thus the seer with vision clear sees forms appear and disappear in the perpetual round of strange, mysterious change. From birth to death, from death to birth, from earth to heaven, from heaven to earth. So glimpses more sublime of things unseen before unto his wondering eyes reveal the universe as an immeasurable wheel turning forevermore in the rapid and rushing river of time. I have never heard anything better in my life. That shit changed me. The ending, okay? The universe as an immeasurable wheel, turning forevermore in the rapid, rushing river of time. I'm speechless. I have to give you guys words about why I like it. But I'm speechless. I don't know, I feel like it's just a reminder about how the mind of an artist can bring importance to something or can see the underlying importance in something that other people might overlook. And I think that it emphasizes the importance, if you are a person with a creative mind, with an artistic mind, of endeavoring to understand the world around you in your own way. I mean, I'm a person who, when it's raining, 90% of the time, I'm like, ew, disgusting, hate that. But this makes me feel differently about rain. I mean, I can be a big summer rain appreciator, which is what this poem is about. But I think I hate it the most when it's just a blanket of gray all day long and the rain never actually comes. Because that's like so boring. But I mean, can anything be boring when the universe is an immeasurable wheel turning forevermore in the rapid and rushing river of time? We are all in the flow, we are all in the stream, and we are meant to go where the flow goes. Also, now seems like a good time to read a poem from my book that I came out with last month. Please read and buy my book. Thank you. I'm going to read a poem called Seven of Cups from my debut poetry collection. Live for now, they say, not then, but now is short, then is endless. New days are always dawning, new dusks always forming, a culmination of light living. Gamble with 30 sunsets, lay them down flat on the table, and count each one twice if you're able. Make your fortune in all ways unstable. Believe in the endless iridescence of tomorrow. Now it's August, October is soon to follow. I love that one because it's not August yet, but it's almost August, and then October will be soon to follow. It's kind of in a similar vein to the poem that I just read before about the passage of time. And it's just about the way that the present moment can feel so limited compared to the beyond, compared to the future, compared to all the stretches of time that feel infinite, but that you can't access yet. It feels like today, nothing is possible, but tomorrow, everything is possible. So sometimes we kind of live waiting for that next day, and we live waiting for tomorrow and waiting for the future and waiting for things to be better and waiting for things to be different. And we kind of suspend ourselves in the experience of waiting or inviting in something that may never come or an inspiration that may never strike. So there's two sides to it, because on the one hand, you can keep waiting indefinitely and you're gambling away time and you're risking everything to have things potentially not turn out. But then at the same time, there can be a beauty in envisioning a future and risking your present for that future, in believing that there will always be something better to come. Now I'm just going to talk about some music I've been listening to recently. Not to be basic, but I've been loving Chappell Roan. I was into Chappell Roan before you guys were. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. I was into Chappell Roan when she had Pink Pony Club out. Before Naked in Manhattan Red Wine Supernova, My Kink is Karma. Before any of those dropped, I was into Chappell Roan. Yes. So everybody clap for me. Everybody clap for me because I'm unique and interesting. I liked her first. Obviously Chappell is amazing and people are seeing that now, and I love that because I always knew she was amazing. I've also been listening a lot to Remy Bond, and I know that some people see her music as a Lana Del Rey wannabe or a Lana Del Rey copycat. She's definitely influenced a lot by Lana, but I would say that I've seen some true Lana copycat music, and this is not that. There's a unique quality to what Remy is doing. It's much more celestial and atmospheric and electronic than a lot of Lana songs. It feels like Lana Del Rey meets David Bowie. That's what Remy Bond feels like for me. Love End of the World, love Summer Song, love Benzo Queen. It's really vibey, and I like that. Honestly, I was thinking of talking about some other things today too, but my throat is like so dry and scratchy because of my cold, and I can't talk anymore. I literally can't talk anymore, and I really hope this wasn't too boring because I kind of like struggled with filming it because I feel so awkward and I feel so like sick and disgusting right now. But you know, I have a commitment to coming on here every week and just talking and just like spitting whatever it is that I've got going on in the moment. So I hope that you were able to take away some valuable recommendation from this video. And yes, if you liked the poem I read, Seven of Cups, don't be shy. Click the link in my description and go buy my book. I want to do some more like vulnerable or chatty videos like this. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't even say that this video is especially vulnerable, but the people that I watch on YouTube, let me give you some of my favorite YouTubers. I love Anaya. I love Karissa Love. There are definitely other ones that I love too, but I just love the authenticity in that content, and I know that I appreciate it as a viewer when I watch people that are authentic and when I watch people that are honest and when I watch people that are like talking about the way that they're feeling and the things that they're going through and the things that inspire them and the things that they like and don't like. I enjoy that as a viewer, but for some reason when it comes to putting stuff like that out, it just doesn't feel entertaining enough. It doesn't feel worth it enough to communicate the things that I'm thinking and the things that I'm feeling and doing. So I don't know. I might try to do more just off the cuff things that are less planned or less structured. I just really have to think about it. But ultimately, I do see myself as a creative and an artist, and I don't know if I always express that side of myself too much on my channel. I would like to do that more, I feel like. So yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment and let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.